Good morning. We made it to Tuesday, May the 6th, 11 days before I ring the bells. This is your boy Doug, 60 Gang. Good morning to those who woke up today. Happy birthday to those born May the 6th. And my condolences go out to those who did not wake up with us today. I'm out here in Eagles, McDonough, Georgia. Thought I'd turn it on, let you see the wonderful houses out here. This is some good living out here. I think these houses run somewhere between $700 and $1 million. Going to have out here to look at a Samsung refrigerator by Mr. Ricardo Williams, 60 Gang member. Gave me a call yesterday. Says he's having trouble with his ice maker. He said his freezer not working and the refrigerator is not cold enough. So we're gonna find out what's going on with him and give him my best advice. Thought I'd give you guys a view of what it's like in this exclusive gated community. Wonderful, beautiful homes out here. Like this one right here on the right hand side. Let's y'all take a look at that. Y'all see the homes. It has a golf course. Wow, that's beautiful right there. Y'all can't see that one. Big gate, big doors. Six two two. This must be him right here. 618. Damn. Y'all see that? We're turning a little bit more that way too. I'll keep it in that angle till we leave, but 620. Okay. Oh, can I get it up? Get a little more? Them houses are nice. This is him right here. So got this Sierra. Sitting on them things. There you go. Sitting on them things. Give him a call. Oh, Ricardo, I was texting you, let you know.
Oh, did you hear? All right, cool, man. Good to see you.
All right, I'll be right with you.
Okay, all right. You doing all right this morning?
Yes, sir. I just like being on time. I'm early, but I want to let you know I was here.
Early is on time.
All right.
That's how I am.
All right. How old is your refrigerator?
Not that old, man.
Yeah.
Years old. My car. Appreciate it. All right, yeah, I appreciate it. The freezer stopped cooling. First first another ice, then the fridge started cooling. So the refrigerator, ever since I guess getting this cold and shit.
Okay.
Been like that for. I was trying to call Samsung and they kept on saying he's out of warranty. I said, I understand that. I just want somebody to come out and look at it. I'm like,
that didn't take long. He's got an uneconomical to repair. I forgot to hit pause, guys. Let's go home. I'll show you some of these beautiful homes on the way out. This is in McDonough, Georgia. And it's called Eagles Point. I should give y'all a wider angle like that so y'all can actually see the houses when I go home. Boom, y'all. Got them a nice new Sierra. Sitting on them things. Get that one. One down here, boy. Get this white one, y'all. Look at the white one. Let's see. Y'all see that one? Boy. Speed bumps. Security. Look at that one. Man. See, I don't try to rob people. He got robbed. So they sold him a defective refrigerator. He would have been putting money in that motherfucker as long as he had it. Yep. They got a nice course with a obstacle course with workout fitness equipment, golf course. said, now we're coming out of the community. Got that laser somewhere. It's taking me the back way. Visit www access for more or something. All right. And this is called the Eagles Landing Country Club Community. Now we go back to my side of the world.
All right, it's 6 a.m. in the East.
That's right.
A minute last week, and Democrats are making it political.
We do know that the Trump administration has decimated the FAA in a variety of different ways. The Trump administration is breaking the FAA.
It is.
And anti.
Today, several Trump cabinet members are testifying on Capitol Hill.
That includes Secretary Kristi Noem, as the Department of Homeland Security offers $1,000 to migrants who self-deport.
Madeline Rivera joins us live with more. Good morning, Maddie.
Good morning, guys. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is expected to face scrutiny from Democrats today when she appears before a House Appropriations Subcommittee. Expect Noem to defend the president's immigration policies. They have a new initiative paying for the commercial flights of migrants who are in the country illegally if they choose to self-deport. The administration will also pay them a $1,000 stipend once they're confirmed to have left the United States.
So we're going to have a self-deportation where they deport themselves out of our country, and we'll work with them, and we're going to try, and if we think they're good, if they have, the people we want in our country, they're going to come back into our country. We'll give them a little easier route.
DHS officials say the plan makes financial sense. They say the cost of a single deportation is more than $17,000. They expect the cost of the self-deportation flights and the stipend to be about $4,500 per person on average, about 70% cheaper.
We spend about $17,000 arresting, detaining, and deporting an illegal alien right now today. If we have the opportunity to purchase a plane ticket and send someone home with a stipend like this, it saves us thousands and thousands of dollars. And it also is a much safer situation for officers and for those in communities.
Migrants who want to use this option must register their intent to self-deport on the CBP Home app. So far, at least 5,000 migrants have used CBP Home to report they were leaving the country per the Migration Policy Institute. According to Newsweek, this latest financial incentive for migrants puts the U.S. in line with other countries like Germany, Sweden, and the U.K., which have offered similar programs with varying degrees of success. Lawrence, Ainsley, and Brian.
All right, thanks so much, Mandy. They're all going to be, I think they're all going to be up there. Scott Bessent is going to talk about the debt ceiling and his budget. And Doug Collins is going to talk about why he thinks a leaner staff is going to make a better VA. And the Agricultural Secretary, Brooke Rollins, expected to be asked about reductions in food assistance. It's an opportunity to clarify a lot of the misleading headlines about what's going on, including what Sean Duffy has not gutted the FAA. I don't know why Hakeem Jeffries keeps saying that.
No, and I think it's also a point where they can make their case to Congress of all the cuts they're going to make. And the reason why, all the waste, fraud, and abuse, a lot of this, the PR has been going through dope.
Yeah.
Now they can take all those findings and actually show Congress should really be leading this effort in their budget as well to say, hey, we're going to be good stewards for the American people. Let's see if the Democrats will defend some of this wasteful spending today.
They're going to have to really incentivize these traffic controllers, because if they pay them more money, maybe more will apply for the jobs. What happened in Newark is they ended up taking a lot of those individuals that were in the tower. They ended up taking 45-day leaves because of all the trauma they went through. I'm sure they were nervous and worried about all the flights, and they couldn't find them. They couldn't have contact with them. But I've heard a bunch of interviews from Sean, I'm sure y'all have too, where he says he actually told us that he's going to update those computer systems because that's part of the problem.
Yeah, but that's going to take years. In the short term, they're trying to incentivize people to come out of retirement.
Right.
Because they're forced to retire at a younger age. They're 54. Can you come back? Mm-hmm. And they're offering financial enhancements.
Meanwhile, how great is it? They're offering $1,000 for people who self-deport. I don't know how many will actually do that. They have to get back to their own country. They have to go back on the app to notify America so that we could pay them the $1,000.
That's what Mitt Romney said. Mitt Romney said we're going to make it so hard for him here they will self-deport, and he was mocked for it.
Well, they're not just giving them $1,000 once. They're offering to pay for the flight as well.
Right.
So what they're saying is, look, we're going to track you. We're going to put you in line. We'll pay for your flight to get there. When you get into your home country, we'll give you $1,000. And if you want to then in return go the legal direction, then you get a little bit of a grace period to be able to, we'll give you a little help to come here legally. I think it's a brilliant idea. You're right, Brian. He was mocked for it, but it shows that the administration is not only trying to deport the criminals, but they're trying to deport the people that broke the law and did it the wrong way, skipped the line. But if you want to do it the right way, they're not being heavy-handed with you as well.
And that's what E-Verify was so valuable for. So if you had to hire somebody, whether it's a meat factory or was at a financial firm, you have to go E-Verify. And if your immigration status is not smooth, if you don't belong here, I don't care who you are, you're out. So then all of a sudden the word gets out. If you come here, ICE is going to find you. If you try to work here, when you apply, you're going to get rejected, and then you're going to get deported. So then the word gets out. It's probably not worth, selling your lean-to or your mud hut to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, CNN is being mocked, and they're being roasted, really, for their interview with the Sinaloa cartel member. I think he's the head guy in the cartel. And they're asking him, how do you feel? They're very sympathetic when they ask them the question, how do you feel about being called a terrorist by Donald Trump? Listen to this.
According to the Trump administration, you are a terrorist. I mean, the cartels have been labeled a foreign terrorist organization. What do you make of that?
Está fea la situación, ¿verdad? Está fea la situación, pero pues de todos modos tenemos que comer.
What's your message to Donald Trump if he's watching this?
Mi respeto, él tiene que según él buscar lo mejor para los suyos. Pero el detalle que ya están los consumidores, ¿no? Si no hubiera consumidores, pues uno le parara.
This is stunning. This is the same network, along with the other mainstream media, that make fun of us for going across the country doing diner segments. You saw one of the late nights. We're making fun of our diners the other day of talking with the American people, but they treat the cartel as normal people. I don't care what he thinks about the president. What about all the girls that you rape doing the drug trade? What about all the people that you have murdered? What about all the innocent Americans that have died as a result of your cartel, the human trafficking that goes on as well? I would have expected that to be the focus of the interview, not what he thinks of the president of the United States. I don't care what he thinks about the president of the United States.
Well, he says, yeah, he's looking out for his people, by the way.
We got to eat. We got to eat.
Right, that's what the mob says. Well, we got to eat, right? I mean, they're locking down with illegal activity. He does say the reason why we sell our drugs here is because it's got customers. No doubt about it. There are drug users here.
So he's blaming Americans.
Yes, yeah.
And not himself, not taking responsibility. If they weren't making drugs and selling drugs, Americans wouldn't have drugs to buy and wouldn't be dying. So, these individuals have blood on their hands. It's easy for them to say, we've got to eat. Well, then just get a regular job. That's what we all do. And you can't do something illegal in order to eat. That's not how America works. And you have to realize, I'd rather be poor than have blood on my hands and be accused of killing and responsible for killing millions of Americans.
So Caroline Leavitt saw the interview. This is what she said.
Well, it was fascinating to me, Sean. I was actually scrolling on Instagram when I came across this interview, and it stopped me in my tracks, not just because they sat down with a member of a Mexican cartel that is now designated as a foreign terrorist organization by the United States government, but because of the nature of the questions of this notorious foreign terrorist. It was a softball interview giving a platform to a notorious drug cartel that has killed American citizens. I thought it was quite despicable. But again, this is just another reason why the trust in the legacy media is at an all-time low amongst the American public.
It's just such a good point. I don't care if it's the Democrats or it's the media. On every single issue that matters to the American people, they find a way to be on the wrong side of the issue. I mean, this was the first opportunity. It's not like we get many interviews with cartel members to actually get in their mind. Why are you doing it? Why are you killing our people? Why are you raping these young girls across the border?
How do you sleep at night?
How do you sleep at night? When he said, "I gotta eat," what was the response to that? I mean, it's really sad when the media provides cartel for the number one, I guess say, gang that is killing our people. Young people are dying because of the drugs that they're putting across this border. It's the number one way they can die.
Just so you know, they're heavily surveilled right now. The Trump administration looks at the cartels as the major problem. That stuff about Scheinbaum saying what the president said over the weekend, Scheinbaum's scared to death of the cartels that kind of run in the country. That's their problem. But cartels are our problem.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's going to be too much longer before, if we catch
Salvador, it seems they care more about the criminal than they do the victim. I mean, Van Hollen's visiting this gang guy down in El Salvador, and meanwhile, someone in his own community, Rachel Morin, was killed, and he never visited her mom. So they're trying to figure out what their message needs to be, and you've got these younger Dems that are pushing to ouster some of the older party leaders, including AOC. And what happened in the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee is you had Virginia's congressman. He's 74 years old, Jerry Connolly, and he actually defeated AOC for that position, for the head dog on that committee. Then he was diagnosed with cancer in November, and he is saying he's going to have to step down from that role. So now they're trying to figure out who's going to be the leader in that role. His temporary replacement is a 70-year-old Congressman, Stephen Lynch, who's a Democrat from Massachusetts.
So AOC has decided that she's not going to go for the position. This is what she said in the quote. It's actually clear to me that the underlying dynamics in the caucus have not shifted with respect to seniority as much as I think it would be necessary. So I believe I'll be staying put at the Energy and Commerce Committee. So I think the issue with the Democrats right now is the elders in the party, they don't want to give up their power. I mean, we were told that Nancy Pelosi, Jim Clyburn, and company were supposed to step back, and Steny Hoyer were supposed to step back. Meanwhile, Hakeem Jeffries has no control of the caucus, and anytime the media wants some type of question about where the party's going, they go to Nancy Pelosi when she's supposed to be retired.
So Congressman Green, when he was shaking his cane, and at that President's State of the Union, and Al Green, I watched everybody go up to Nancy Pelosi as if to say control him. Nobody went up to Hakeem Jeffries.
No.
So they're like, can you get this guy in control? And then her staffer went on national television over the weekend and ripped Hakeem Jeffries not showing any leadership, which is like Nancy Pelosi stepping up. James Clyburn's asked over the weekend, hey, by the way, when are you going to step aside? You're 83 years old. He was basically insulted. He's like, what are you talking about? Nancy left her seat, Steny left his seat, I left my seat. What the hell am I supposed to do now? Clyburn said when asked whether the party needed to think of bringing in younger members. What do you want me to do? Give up my life? Yeah, well, would you step aside and give somebody else your seat in Congress in South Carolina? So Mitch, which I think is interesting, Dick Durbin looks like a hero. He retired at 80. He's like, I'm going to step aside for the younger generation. Chuck Schumer comes, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What do you want? I'm staying. I have nothing else to do. So he's staying in leadership. So, and AOC is saying, it's clear I don't have the votes again. They evidently, being a ranking member and oversight is extremely prestigious. Democrats in their mind think they're going to be majority in 2 years. So if she's in oversight, she could do all the investigations, make a name for herself, and run for president.
But Ainsley, and I know Jim Clyburn is from South Carolina. I know he's respected in the community. But isn't it weird that he said that politics at 83 years old, that being in leadership and having control, that's his life, that you're taking his that would threaten his life by saying it's time to step back.
That's all they've known.
That is just ridiculous.
Older politicians have known. It's been their lives. And you know what? And I see both sides on this. You do need to have the younger voice represented. But I also know that the older ones are more experienced and they know how to push through legislation. Now, you don't want them to get so stagnant and stale in their position where they're not going out and meeting the voters and hearing what the constituents want. But ultimately, it's up to the voters. If South Carolina wants to make a change, they can.
That's true.
Right, but they're so dug in, you really have no shot because that's a machine that Clyburn has. Mitch Daniels had an editorial in today's Washington Post that talked about the Senate, the need to get younger. He points out that the Senate in 2011, the median age is 61. Now it is over 60. Now it's over 64. The British House of Commons, the average age is 48. The Knesset in Israel is 52. In Japan, it's 55. So
they're getting
move over.
younger.
Meanwhile, police are making dozens of arrests after pro-Palestinian protesters occupied a campus building at the University of Washington and started setting fires.
The demonstrators causing all kinds of chaos to pressure the university to divest from Boeing.
Really?
Brooke Sigmund joins us with more. Good morning, Brooke.
Good morning, guys. The police moving in after pro-Palestinian barricaded themselves inside a campus building for hours. Now, demonstrators taking over the interdisciplinary engineering building, blocking off the entrance with furniture, and later setting fire to a dumpster outside while chanting at responding police and firefighters. The protesters calling for the University of Washington to divest from Boeing over defense contracts that they say contributes to the U.S. war machine. They're also demanding the university rename the building after a teenage engineering student they say was killed in a Gaza airstrike. The destructive protest appears to have been organized by the group Students United for Palestinian Equality and Return, or Super UW. They wrote a manifesto directed at students and faculty to stand alongside Gazans, saying, quote, "Here in the center of the U.S. war machine, our university education is geared to produce the next administrators of the empire. We refuse to be engineers of genocide. Our role must be to hinder the U.S. empire, to stop the flow of bombs and ease the struggle of those fighting for liberation in Palestine and around the world." And Antifa protesters were also reportedly on campus, shouting at police as they attempted to clear the area. Listen to this.
Abolish the police! Every cop dead is a victory for the resistance! Every IOF soldier killed is a victory against colonialism!
This happening about a year after activists took over the quad at UW for 3 weeks with a pro-Palestinian encampment. Guys.
Unbelievable. I mean, here it goes. You know, President Trump gets cable.
Yep.
He's going to see this.
Thank you,
and Washington's going to get the scrutiny.
Yeah, you see these masks are still there?
Yeah.
When are the leaders going to get rid of these masks? COVID is over. It's over. And they don't know what kafiyas is. This is not the Middle East.
And why don't you just go to class?
Sand is everywhere.
Why are you doing this at college? Go to class.
It's unbelievable.
Stop wanting to divest in Boeing? Really, of all things?
And by the way, Israel pays for those weapons, and the technology that they give back to the United States is sometimes better as well. So you're not going to destroy Boeing's business model.
Right. And by the way, there's no one in the White House now that is listening to any of your protests and makes them go the other direction. Meanwhile, 17 minutes after the hour, I can't see her directly because there's a camera in the way. But I like to say,
and she's like, "Oh, hey." She was like, "You finally got a day off?" And it caught me. As soon as she gets in our car, as soon as I hear the door shut, I come from behind the cement pillar thing and I hop right in the back seat. I said, "So what's up? You always meet married men and give them money?" I definitely want to fight. I ended up stabbing him. It was a big old drama. It was drama, right?
Y'all love y'all for all y'all support. Guys, make sure y'all with her kid's father, and she met up with the bride that he was cheating with. Let's check it out.
Okay, since I get this question a lot, here's a story time on what led up to the divorce from my kid's dad and how I did a sneak meet up with the bitch he was cheating with. So a lot of you guys always ask me, why did me and my kid's dad get a divorce? Since we get along so well, why couldn't we just work things out? So let me help you paint the picture before I tell you this story. I had been with this man since I was 15, 16 years old. Well over 18 years. We were legally married. We got 5 kids together. Like, everything that you could think of, we've been through it together. And after this situation, it still took some growing, but ultimately, like, that's my people. That's my friend. Outside of everything we've been through, I know the one person that cares about me, that I could call, that got my back, is him. Like, no matter what, if I call him, no matter what he's doing, he's gonna drop everything at the drop of a dime, and he's gonna come and he's gonna make sure that I'm good. It just didn't work out relationship wise. So how we stand now is there's no strings attached. That's really just my folks.
Okay, that's
But
good.
I'm gonna get into what actually led up to the divorce. Okay, so he had been working at the refinery, and everything going good. He making good money, and one thing about him, he's always had a real strict schedule. Like, he's not one that hangs out, none of that type of shit. He works, he comes home, he's a family man. Everything else we do it together. So anyhow, you know, over the course of him working there, he comes home every day, he's telling me about the people at work. He's never mentioned any females working there, at least in his section. There are females that work there, but they work like turnarounds and stuff in a whole different area. So I had Booga November of 2017. So we're winding a little bit. When I was like maybe 5-6 months pregnant, one day we go to the water slides with our kids, and while we're there, we pass by this female, and she's like, oh hey, she was like, you finally got a day off? And it caught me, like my antennas went up instantly, because everybody knows their spouse. I could tell by his response, he kind of was like, oh shit, like it seemed like that, you get it? Then mind you, I'm peeping his response, and he was like super dry with her, like basically brushed her off. He gave like a little head nod, but he like kept walking. That caught my eye too. So, and then also when she said, oh hey, you finally got a day off, she called him by name. So when I instantly was like, who the fuck is that? He was like, man, I don't know, one of them bitches up there. And I'm like, no, she just called you by name. Like, that's friendly. Who the fuck is that? And mind you, I know she can hear me, but the bitch don't say nothing. So anyhow, he was like, man, she probably called me by name by hearing it from the loudspeaker. Oh, everybody knows me up there. I'm like, yeah, okay. But I keep it in the back of my head. So that was the first red flag that just had, like, you know how you just got that women's intuition? It was one of those. It was like, nah, look into that a little bit more. So I play it like, I start looking into shit now. So that right there opened the door, and it started my FBI, PI shit. You already know, females, that's just what we do. Once our antennas are up, we're going to start digging. And if it's there, we're going to find it. Ain't no hiding. So anyhow, over the course of, I want to say maybe the next couple months or so, I'm starting to look into everything. I've never been one that like needed to check his phone or nothing, because he never was sneaky with it. I've always had the code. It's always right there. Like, it's just, like I said, he has a routine. So now I'm starting to go through the phone. Now I'm starting to just pay more and more attention. Now I'm starting to like, okay, I'm finna find out who this broad is. I'm gonna see where she work at, because why would you lie and act like you don't work with no females? Like, why would you be hiding that? That's like basic to me. So it was just a red flag. So anyhow, he had this work group chat, and it was like a bunch of co-workers in it with their boss or whatever, and they would send them messages sometimes. I didn't never care to go in it, but after that situation, I did. Okay, wait, and I forgot this part. Time had went on since then. It had been months. I had been looking. I didn't find nothing. It was nothing that, you know, was solid to me. So I kind of like let shit go. I had just gave birth, and, you know, I was just enjoying my baby. So one particular day, I don't remember what holiday it was, but it was a holiday coming up, and there was like a big turnaround at his job. Now, when there's a turnaround, it's like a big job. They bring in all these other people from different, you know, anybody that's on like the little list for the refinery work, and it's a lot of people on deck. So I'm like, we got hella leftover gumbo. Like, you should sell gumbo plates. Mind you, I know people who make bank like that. They cook for the turnarounds, and they sell their plates $20 a plate. They'll walk away with 3 bands in one night, that type shit. So I bring it to his attention, and he like had every excuse on why we shouldn't sell these plates there. He like, oh no, you know, so now my antennas are back up, because it's like, something ain't right. Why would you turn down some money? So anyhow, now I want to say this is about January. I had Booga November of 2017. So this is like January 2018. So January 2018, he goes to sleep. I go through the phone. back, like I said, I'm back on my bullshit. I'm back to my PI work because something ain't right. So anyhow, I go through the phone. He had a work group chat, and it was like a bunch of the coworkers, and they form and they would text all the time, whatever the case may be. So I go through the group chat and I write down all the numbers that are not saved. Right? I check the ones that are saved.
Cash App, huh?
But when I start looking up the ones that are not saved,
boom.
What you think I find? One of the numbers came back to a bitch. And what bitch was it? The same motherfucking bitch from that water slide. So now it's game time. Now I'm like, okay, you got me fucked up. Because mind you, I questioned him numerous times about that bitch. And I asked him specifically, do you deal with her? Like, what's up with that? Because I just wasn't feeling that little friendly ass, oh, hey, you finally got it. Like, no, hold on, bitch. So anyway, he started telling me, like, yeah, she works up there, but she don't work in our area. She not a part of our crew. Well, she wouldn't be in this group chat if she wasn't. So now I know you've been lying about that. So anyway, I want to say I wake him up, like, fighting with him about it, right? I wake him up. No, did I wake him up? Because usually I sit on my information for a while. Anyhow, I can't remember exactly when or what I did, but I know when I finally was like, motherfucker, she's in this group chat. You acting like you don't have no dealings with this broad, da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, man, I'm not worried about that bitch. That bitch is like a tramp. Like, she's known up there for being a tramp. She fuck with this person and that person, da-da-da-da-da. You sure do know a lot about a bitch. One thing I always been real firm on is when you start hearing a man down talk a random female real bad, it's usually the opposite. I think men do that shit to try to throw us off or whatever the case may be, but it stuck with me. So that was another red flag. So
y'all girls do that too. Oh, he just my friend. Yeah, okay.
I leave the house, and when I leave on some mad shit. Just like, okay, I need to go clear my head, figure out how I want to play this. Do I want to pull up at his job, confront the bitch? He's not telling me shit. He's just denying everything. Now he's trying to play it like, oh, you're doing too much, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, okay, so boom, I leave. I go clear my head. In the process of that, I started looking more into the bitch. Now I need to figure out where the bitch at, where she lay her head at, who her mama is. I find out that she does actively work there. She works in his department. He was lying. So I'm like, okay. Now when I come back, I do some shit to get all the information that I needed. And I ain't gonna say exactly what all I got, but I got some shit. Now, what I sit back and I play it like, wait, cool. Not cool to where he thinks I'm letting it go, but I stopped bringing it up because it was taking me weeks to get all of the information that I needed. And now, once I start getting that, now I got to put the pieces to the puzzle together. I'm lining up, looking at hours, any days that you claim you had overtime, the whole nine, right? So now we're in February. So in February, I was able, it was twice actually, but it was one particular time where he texted me and he was like, hey, they're finishing up a job. It's going to be an extra 20 minutes, but I'll hit you as soon as I'm done when I'm on my way. I say, okay, cool. That was a lie. And I was able to put that together. He actually got off on time. So that extra 20 minutes, yeah, he was with that bitch. So, and bitches is trifling. I'll tell you about that later. But anyway, boom. So when I get that and it's solid, I tell my daughter, Booger is now only 3 months at this point? Yeah, Booger was 3 months. So anyhow, I tell my daughter, call your dad and tell him I dropped Booger on the floor. Now we lived in a big house with marble floors. So, I knew it would make him worried enough to where he had come like right away. So she like, what's going on? I'm like, don't worry about it. Just call him and tell him I dropped Booger on the floor. So she does it. He comes home instantly. So as soon as he walks in, I'm sitting there, calm as a motherfucker. Baby, I'm on the bed asleep. And I said, how long you been fucking that bitch? And he just looked at me, and baby, that look on his face, he knew something was up. He like, what? And I'm like, how long you been fucking that bitch? And I'm like, don't play with me. I already know everything that I need to know. I'm asking you to tell me the details and the truth, because if you don't, it's gonna be worse. He denies it as usual. So after about 10 minutes or so of him just flat out denying it, I was like, check this out, motherfucker. On this particular day, you texted me and said that they was finishing up a job a little bit late. It was going to be 20 minutes. But your badge got you leaving that gate right on time. And then from there, I got your location showing that you went from there to the park right down the street from your job, which is like less than 5 minutes away, and you sat there for 18 minutes. Motherfucker, you wasn't there feeding the motherfucking ducks, so what the fuck was you doing? Now, mind you, I'm like, in the process of this, I'm like, you trifling ass motherfuckers, because both of y'all work at that dirty ass refinery. Like I said, we grown. We know you wasn't there feeding the motherfucking ducks, so you nasty motherfuckers was at that park doing something trifling. So anyway, he's like, now when I start saying your badge got you leaving at this time, it shows your location, you went from this, now he's starting to look worried. Now he's starting to do, man, it's not what you think, like, you know, I want to tell you the truth, but you be really tripping, but I swear to God, it's not like that, whoop, whoop, whoop. And I'm like, you know how I am. I'm coming to you for the truth, but I'm going to take it 50 steps further. I'm coming to you first, so that way you could just be a man and tell me what it is before I go up there and tear that motherfucker up to get the truth and embarrass everybody. So just tell me. He's still denying it. So now he starts like trying to lightweight cover his tracks by saying, okay, look, you know what I'm saying? Like, she do work there, we cool, whoop, whoop, whoop. But I swear to God, I ain't never did nothing with her. Like, she had asked me for a ride. That was all I needed to hear right there, baby. That was that right there. Because you're lying. You're lying now. You're trying to cover it up. So now he goes right back to like speaking down on her. Like now it's real tough. Now it's like, I swear to God, like look at her. Like you know damn well I wouldn't fuck on her. She a bum ass bitch. Like she hella fucking ugly. Like that bitch trash. She fucked on so and so and so and so, and it ain't like that. You know, we just cool. And I couldn't tell you the truth on that because I knew you was gonna trip and think some other shit. And nah, motherfucker. So I'm like, okay. So in the process of this now it's like I'm getting ready to tear it up, and you know it. And so he calls off work the next day. I think he calls off for the next few days, right? In the process, I'm still telling him, I'm giving you the opportunity to tell me the truth before I figure it all out. So by this point, she was actually at another refinery. And like I said, because some of them refinery workers, they bounce around to different locations if they're not permanent at that site. So on one particular day, I text from his phone. And you know how you can throw something out there and it can be interpreted in many different ways? That's what I did. I hit her and I said, hey, I need you. Now, mind you, if we just cool, you're going to be like, what's up? Her response told me all I needed to know. She responded with the what boy and the roll in the eyes. I said, oh, okay. So I'm like, no, for real, I really need you. I'm like, my car broke down. I made up something. I'm like, I need $1,500, so I could get back to work. And she was like, oh, I ain't got it. I said, I could give it right back to you. I'm like, I'm getting some money. I think I said taxes or something. But I was like, I could give it right back. I'm like, just let me hold it. And she was like, I can let you hold a little bit. So now I'm in my text messages. And he been trying to talk to me. And I've been real quiet, real distant. I'm just working on my plan. So anyway, I finally tell him, I said, let's ride and let's talk. He knew I didn't want to talk in front of the kids. I didn't even really want them to know what was going on. So when we hop in the car, right, I said, get on the freeway. He said, where are we going? I said, to go meet your bitch. And his response, like his whole body language, everything just changed. And I said, I'm telling you now, if you let another bitch tell me anything, it's gonna be worse. I said, so you might as well tell me everything now, because once I get to her, if you let another bitch tell me anything that you haven't already told me, it's up. And he was just like, man, why is you doing this? Some. I said, and I'm about to get some money out the bitch and you're gonna help me. He's like, I could just tell, like I said, his whole body language just changed. But he ain't said he still get on the freeway. So whatever the case may be, I tell him where to go. I tell the bitch, meet me in the Walmart parking lot. So I keep his phone so that way he can't blow my plan. And again, the whole time I'm telling him, tell me whatever I need to hear now. If I hear it from her, I swear to God, it's going to be a problem. So anyway, I text her. She think it's him still. I text her. I said, let me know when you close. We get to the parking lot ahead of time. I had him back into this one spot that had these big cement pillar things in the back. So I said, text me when you close. She texts. She said, I'm 5 minutes away. I said, keep these doors unlocked. When she pulls up, tell her to hop in this car. So I get out. Boom. I get behind the cement pillar thing. I hear her pull up. He says, hop in. Oh, mind you, I told him, she thinks she bringing you some money. So anyway, when he says get in the car, I hear her get out. I hear her get in my car. As soon as she gets in our car, as soon as I hear the door shut, I come from behind the cement pillar thing and I hop right in the back seat. I said, so what's up? You always meet married men and give them money? So needless to say, she goes into this little long story about how it's not like that. She like one of the fellas and she understands, like, you know, other people's wives have tripped before, but she don't fuck around. Whoop, all this bullshit, right? So finally, it gets awkward. She like, okay, so like, is that it? And I'm like, yeah, that's it. You could go. So I could tell he kind of like loosen up. So when she gets out, she goes around the front. I come around to pass her. I like bump her on the way. I'm like I just feel like she wasn't being a honey. Like, you get what I'm saying? And to me, it just seemed like she just bitched up. I'm looking for a problem. I'm telling her everything that this man done said, hoping that she'll get frustrated enough and tell me whatever it is. But when she stick to it, I kind of think like, okay, well, you know, maybe it's not like that. But bitch, you still need to know we don't do that friend shit. So when we hop in the car to leave, his whole demeanor changes. See, I told you, you be tripping, motherfucker. 30 minutes ago, you was just nervous, probably shitting motherfucking bricks on the way here, right? So now when he starts saying, I told you it wasn't nothing, it's just you just be tripping hella much. So we talking the whole way home, right? And I'm like, man, listen, I'm telling you now, I'm not putting up with no bullshit. Like, it's too far in the game. I'm not putting up with no bullshit. I was like, but we gonna see. Like, we gonna see. So when we get in front of our house before we go in, he like, can we just make up? Like, I promise I'm not gonna lie to you no more about nothing. Like, you just gotta really start understanding shit. Sometimes you be unreasonable. He trying to flip the whole shit, right? But something in my motherfucking gut just wouldn't, like, I couldn't let it go. Like, I just felt like I wasn't the one tripping. So I keep his phone because I know if it is something, she gonna hit that phone eventually. So the next day comes around and sure enough, this bitch texts at 11:31. Lunch is at 11:30. At 11:31, a big long paragraph text come through. Now, mind you, like I said, she was at another refinery at this point, so she didn't even know that he wasn't at work. So the bitch thought she was being slick. But anyway, she texts and she's like, I told you I didn't want to be involved in no drama. Don't have me caught up in that shit. She was like, and as far as that money, she was like, I'm gonna go ahead and chalk that and we can take it out of all the times that you paid for my lunch. Motherfucker, you gave her money? I take off on it. I broke my nail. Anyhow, so I'm on fire. Like, now I'm like, whoa. So anyways, he responds to her. He's like, check this out. That's my wife. At the end of the day, whatever. So it starts being like an exchange. Now, mind you, I stay 10 steps ahead. So I had already got her dude's number, the whole nine. The dude worked there also, and he was a foreman. So I call him. So when I talk to him, I bring him up to speed on everything. I tell him all of the events, how she thought she was meeting up with him to give him money, but I got the money, the whole nine. So he instantly was like, oh, that don't surprise me. He was like, 2 months after bumping her, he was like, I already had the bitch getting my name tattooed on her. And he was like, and she be giving me all her money, the whole nine. I'm like, this a bitch. But he like, yeah, he like, so that don't surprise me. He said, and another thing that's suspect, he said, when she knew I was coming to that site, he was like, she told me about a dude up there that be trying to get at her, but she didn't make it seem like she was, you know, involved in it in any kind of way. He like, so that was funny. He said, but hold on, let me call her. So sure enough, whatever he called and said to her, about 10 minutes later, she calls his phone. She calls my husband's phone. So when she calls his phone, she's turned up to the max. But mind you, I told him, I said, and you can let her know now I want to see her. Like, I'm going to handle whatever I handle with him, but I gave her the opportunity to tell me whatever she had to tell. Whatever she had to tell me, she should have told me at that moment instead of being fake about it. But since she did, like, now I want to see you about something. So anyhow, when she calls, she like, I didn't fuck him, but I could have. She just laying it all out. Now she talking crazy. I'm like, okay, it's like, it's cool because I'm going to see you. Eventually I'm going to see you. But you's a weak ass bitch because you should have said all of that instead of making up that fake ass story. But nonetheless, now my kid's dad is turned up with her. Bitch, don't you ever disrespect her. Nah, motherfucker, I don't want to hear from you either because you shouldn't have put me in this situation. I told you don't let a bitch tell me nothing. You should have been the one to tell me whatever needed to be said. So whatever the case may be, Fast forward, I filed for divorce. I pull up at that job. I'm trying to see her about something. You can't get in them refinery gates. It's all type of shit. He talking about he gonna slap the taste out her mouth. Just all type of shit. All type of drama transpired. I skipped the part. Okay, so after all of the drama that day, her calling the whole nine, like I told him, I gave you the opportunity to tell me you didn't. Now it's all of this bullshit. So now I leave. I'm like, I need to go collect my thoughts and figure out what I want to do now. I definitely want to fight. I ended up stabbing him. It was a big old drama. It was drama, right? So boom, I leave. I go to Vegas. I stay at my partner house for like, I don't know, a week or two, maybe 2 weeks. So when I come back, now it's March. I come back, I file for divorce. And when I bring him the papers, he like why? Like, and I was like, because I really meant what I said. Like, I told you, don't let nobody else tell me nothing. You should have been man enough to tell me whatever it was. And if you really didn't do anything with her, then we probably could have worked on it. Like, we could have got counseling or whatever, but you didn't. So the court date they gave was in September. Why they gave a court date so far out, I don't know. I filed for divorce in March. They gave me a court date in September. I told him, if you're going to save this marriage, you better figure out how. But I know I told you what I told you, and that's just what it is. So now I'm starting to plan for whatever needs to take place. I'm still living here. I'm still doing all of my regular mom shit. I didn't want my kids to know what was going on. And I told him, if it can be fixed, you got to figure it out. I don't know, but I know I'm not dealing with this. So, if something spectacular happens and we're able to fix it, then by all means, we'll see. I don't bring it up no more. Now, when I'm starting to just think about shit, I'm just like, nah, like, I think I'm just done. So now I'm just preparing for when that time comes. I know I need to move. We need to separate bank accounts, the whole nine, like everything. I'm just putting it in place. So I want to say right around May, June, I didn't see the changes that I felt, could be done. You could have signed us up for marriage counseling, anything. I wasn't going to hold your hand or tell you what could be done to fix it, but I definitely was paying attention and I didn't see what I felt I needed to see. So with that being said, I just started planning my exit. And September comes, and like I said, I think because I was real calm, I didn't bring it up no more, and I kind of just went on with life. He must have got it in his head that I kind of was going to let it go or whatnot. So September comes, I'll never forget the day I woke him up and I was like, hey, you going to be late? And he was like, huh? Like, for what? And I said, court. And he was like, man, stop playing. Like, get in the bed. I said, nah, I was serious. And I went to court and I got that divorce. And that's how it ended. Okay, wait a minute. Let's get into this comment because
she be doing too much. I mean, she went thorough in and out the man's job. She knew his timestamp. She got connect with the timestamp. She put find my phone. She was logging this nigga every which way he was going. She was logging dates and times and locations, and she connected dots and put all that together. Woo! I see why he cheated on her. She was doing way too much. Sometimes you can do way too much to push your man away, and then you wonder why you're alone. Because that kind of woman got me like that, where she's checking my time stamp on my badge, find my phone, watching my location. Going into group text, she went too far. I mean, she got what she deserved and she should be divorced. I mean, that woman, you can't have a woman like that. Even if he was or was not cheating. That's too much. She's doing way too much, and I could not have a woman like that in my life. How can you have peace of mind when you constantly turning around, you're under investigation? Now, what he did to make her suspicious, I don't know. But when she got suspicious, she went 100 on his ass, and that's not something you want to be married to. So thank God they got a divorce, and maybe he can learn from his lessons. But she was too thorough. This is your boy Doug. Thanks for riding with me. Y'all have a blessed day.